Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to the Macro Lounge podcast. I am your co-host, Chris, joined by the stunning in pink and sparkles today, Rachel Mead, all the way from Tauranga. How are you this fine week, Rachel?
I'm good. I'm so tired after the weekend, honestly. I was collapsed all of yesterday.
Yeah, it was a fairly full-on weekend, which is obviously the subject for today's podcast, as we're going to do a show recap for the just completed ICN Great Lakes Classic, all the way from Taupo, which was a full-on day. I'm glad I'm no longer judging because I was tired by the end of it. But we'll go through that. And yeah, it was a very hectic weekend for all, I would say, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, yeah. It was a very long day. It was a great show. It was great vibes at the show, but definitely a long day. It took a lot out of me. I was exhausted.
It was a long weekend. I mean, you arrived a day late, which we won't hold against you, because, Sanji was throwing a temper tantrum.
You pronounced it correctly.
I know, see, I've got notes now. I've been told I've got to get that right. And for anybody who's not sure, that is the name of Rachel's. We won't call him a cat because he's basically a tiger in disguise.
He's actually technically still a kitten for another week.
Okay.
He's still not even a year old.
All right, he's still a baby. Yes, so you're right.
But he had a bit of a tantrum, so I did have to come down a day late.
Yes, he did not want to leave Mummy's side. And then we had the longest commute to Taupo known to man. We could have flown to Australia and back. 6 hours on State Highway 1 was not my idea of fun, but hey, we got there. So we all made it in one piece, which was excellent. It was a very successful weekend across the board, I felt, Rachel, didn't you?
It was. I thought the show was really good. It was overall very well run. Like, there's always obviously things to improve, but I thought the show was really good. The athletes as well, there was very good standards across the board. I thought physique-wise, there was some really great physiques up there, which was really cool to see. And then great vibes backstage, great vibes in the audience. It was, overall really good. They're just a long day.
The audience was loud. I was like, damn, I don't remember the last time I actually been to a show where I was like, holy heck. They were really getting behind everybody, which was awesome. I mean, it was a sold out venue, which was great to see. And I think there were just under 100 entrants, which is awesome for what's pretty much a first timer show. I know there was a large percentage of people that were first timers, which was great. And as you said, the quality of all the athletes from first timers through to more experienced athletes was really, really good. And there were some stacked classes, which was, maybe not necessarily expecting that class to be stacked. I think probably the biggest class might have been novice bikini. That was really,
that was
really
a big class. That was basically the open or the overall. It was pretty much, Who won that was going to be at least in the top two for the really overall.
But as a lot of first timers in this show, so hopefully everybody had a good experience in how their backstage experience and on stage experience went. But yeah, I thought the Great Lakes Centre in Taupo there is always it's an awesome stage and venue. It's got really good lighting, really good sound. The theatre itself is probably a little small, judging by the fact that the show was sold out, I think, almost a week beforehand, which was awesome. That was great to see people travelling to Taupo to support athletes from all up and down the country. We had athletes we had a couple come up from Invercargill, so that was awesome. And yeah, it's a really, really good venue and plenty of space backstage, which was great because they had the whole venue this year. So nobody was packed in, tightened up everywhere. They had a lot of room to spread out with all of their. There was a lot of people who'd obviously listened to your live stream with Brenda the week before, because there was some big ass suitcases backstage.
Hey, it's all the stuff you need. It's all the stuff you need. And also one thing that I did appreciate was that it was nice and warm back there as well. I mean, depending on where you sat, if you sat right under the heat pump, obviously you probably got a little bit too hot. But, and I know there was complaints about that, but it was also depending on literally where you were in that room, because there was a big heat pump at the back. So all you had to do was move to the other side.
Sounds like a you problem, doesn't it, really? It's like, I'm hot, move.
I mean, I'd rather it be warm than cold, to be honest. It's just me, though. But it was good because there was room for people to also practice their posing, because there was a lot of floor space. Usually you're trying not to step on people, trying not to get people in the back of your camera if you're trying to record yourself posing. So that was something that was really nice, that the athletes had space to do things like that. So yeah, all in all, great day. Absolutely great day.
It was a great day. And we give a good little shout out to Roger backstage and his team. He did an amazing job. I was like watching Roger work because he's very specific about the way he likes to get people to stage. He doesn't like to miss anybody. So shout out to Roger. I wish I could remember what his Instagram handle is. It's something like dinosaur something. It's something like that. He's going to kill us for not remembering. But yeah, so really, really strong lineup across all things. And today, ladies and gentlemen, unlike in 2025, we're actually going to discuss the non-sparkly categories, which should be interesting because I'm reasonably sure Rachel wasn't paying that close attention.
Not too much. I mean, one thing I will say is, though, across the board, boys, improve your posing, because if I can see what tips I could give you to improve your posing, and I don't know shit about the men's bodybuilding, that tells you something.
Yeah, I was standing, directly in the back because somehow or another, and if there's any negative comments about the live stream for this show, you need to direct that to the two people sitting right in front of you because that was us doing it.
It does need to be addressed, I think, the live stream.
Yeah.
So
we weren't aware that we were going to be doing it until 30 seconds before it happened.
Okay, to be fair, I did say if I did volunteer us if they needed help.
Oh, so it was your fault.
I said if they needed help with the live stream, but I didn't know exactly what the plan was. But just something to remember. The ICN never publicized that there would be a live stream. They never announced it. They never advertised that there would be a live stream. It was an Instagram live. It was not an official live stream. Yeah. So basically what happened was me, Chris, and Val took shifts. We stole Brenda's phone and we just held it up from behind the judges, trying not to.
You know how hard it is to do that for 9 hours?
So please, guys, be kind if there is an Instagram live like that, because literally it was just us volunteering to hold up the phone and help out. We did get quite a few people making grumpy comments to us about cutting off or shaky hands, not good quality. Wasn't necessarily supposed to be, because again, it wasn't an official live stream. It was just an Instagram live. It was basically the equivalent of grab a random person over there, tell them to put it on Instagram live. So be kind.
Should we do such a thing again? We might prepare a little bit better for it. But yeah, I was tired by the end of it. It's hard work holding a phone up like that. You're like, come on, move it. And yeah, no, it was fun.
And then also remember, we were multitasking as well, because we also had clients in the show. We were also trying to watch the show for the podcast. So there was a lot of things to go. At one point, me and Val had 2 phones being held up, each plus power banks connected to both of them. So it was like 4 phones between the 2 of us. It was a lot of multitasking.
And not a tripod in sight.
So again, be kind.
Any smack talking on the live commentary probably was Rachel and I talking shit in the background.
I did go back and listen to some, and I think we were very good at, if we said something that was a little bit harsher, I think we were good at like making it quiet enough that you can hear that we said something, but you can't quite make out what we said.
Excellent. That's good. I mean, I know you could hear us yelling out. But other than that, Rachel had her swim coach voice on, which was brilliant. I'm literally sitting there going,
yeah, I don't think Chris hasn't heard my swim coach voice, slash PE teacher voice, because again, yes, both require very loud projection of the voice so that you can be heard.
I was prepared to do whatever you were saying, because I was like, damn. I was a little into this little. I was like, she sounds like me.
Which, yes, I basically did exactly what Chris did for me last year. So, yeah, Chris was posing stuff to me last year when I was on stage. So then I did that to my client, Adriana. It was great. It works really well.
It does. I didn't have to do nothing. I just stood there and went, so anyway, we should probably get to the actually topic at hand. We fortunately did not have to take a truckload of notes about all the placings, because the ICN has very kindly actually emailed it to us, and shout out to Brenda for that. But she did, however, just send us the ladies, because she said, I know you're only going to talk about the sparkles. And I was like, excuse me, we are actually going to discuss the gentlemen today, because you told us off for not doing it last year. So then she probably had to resend it and sort of try and cover her tracks. So
The one time we actually, because we also kind of watched it too. We were there. I mean, Chris probably paid a bit more attention than I did. I was backstage for some of it, but...
Yeah, I probably caught most of it. But, it was, as I said, all the classes were represented. You had women's bodybuilding was the first one up for the day, and we did take lots and lots of photos, so we have stuff to refer back to. The problem is we didn't necessarily take them in order, so that was a little bit of an issue. But we did try.
Well, I did take a few notes for the women's bodybuilding. So in women's bodybuilding, we did have in first place... Oh, wait, hang on. Why doesn't it say first here?
It does.
Overall, it does. Sorry, it was highlighted, so I got confused. We had Christina Moore, and I've worked with her a little bit. And also there's like 3 of them that are like 3 musketeers. So I know her a little bit. She absolutely smashed it. I think she definitely was put through her paces by Karen Chan, who is one of our all-time favorite competitors in the world because she's just incredible. We love Karen. We love her.
Yeah, we love Karen.
I think Karen had it from the front possibly, but then I think Christina had brought a fuller package from the back and just a little bit more overall shape.
Yeah, Christina was just more complete overall, so she had less holes in her game, so and a physique that was more appropriate to women's bodybuilding, as opposed to Karen kind of has that physique where she can sort of pretty much slot in anywhere.
Well, not anywhere,
do well in any classes, but maybe not bikini or infant model, but any of the more muscular classes, she can pretty much she can.
But she did end up taking out figure, I believe it was.
She did indeed.
But yes, no, definitely Karen put Christina through her paces. So it was good to see a good lineup of women's bodybuilding. And then we also had, I believe it was Tanya Withers, who was in third. Her size, oh my God. Her arms, when she hit the double bicep pose, wow. Her biceps are insane. I'm not sure if you remember her, Chris, but yeah, those biceps were nuts. I think just conditioning was the biggest thing for her. But her size, she's going to be dangerous if she gets in condition. Yeah,
no, she looked really, really good. And as you said, conditioning was not 100%, but yeah, it was a really good battle across all the and I think there was 5 in that class, which was good.
I believe so.
Yeah, which for women's bodybuilding this days, that's a fairly strong lineup. You don't really often see more than 1 or 2 anymore, so which was awesome. And then obviously then they switched to the gentlemen for the men's bodybuilding, and there were some really generally the way to ICN starts with the what they call juniors, which is 23s, and there were some really, really strong athletes in that. You had Corbin Watson, who I believe took out the week before the NZIFBB South Island Mo's muscles in South Island. I think he was number 18, and Charlie Nevin was in second in that class. And those 2 gentlemen, they had a really, really good look. I think Corbin sort of started to soften out a little bit as it went through the day, but I'm sure he's going off to the Bali Worlds in, was that 3 weeks? So he'll tidy that up, I'm sure, between now and then. And then you had the novice classes too. There's a small class in novice, but strong in there. And of course, we had the men's. There were some really good age category ones. You had 40 plus, 50 plus, 60 plus, and 70 plus. And of course, we would be remiss if we did not give a shout out to the 70 plus champion for today, and actually the world champion, number 29, Uncle Charlie, Charlie Choi.
We love Charlie Choi.
We do love Charlie Choi.
I was actually so gutted because I was backstage when he competed, and I saw him come back with his medal, and I was like, damn it, I missed him.
Charlie is a very enthusiastic character on stage, and the ICN
got posing personality.
Yes,
he is so much fun to watch. Like, he brings such energy. Like, I don't usually want to watch the men's bodybuilding, to be honest. It doesn't interest me personally that much. But Charlie, I love watching Charlie. He's great.
And the fact that he manages to pull off that personality when the ICN doesn't actually have posing routines. He's definitely got a career as a hype man, I would say. He does an amazing job, and really, and for a gentleman that's in his 70s, I hope I'm still strutting my stuff that good in the 70s. The first time they actually did some bodyweight stuff in the men's bodybuilding, they actually had under 75 and over 75, but they moved the over 75 just into the open. And there was a really, really strong lineup in that under 75. You had Sean Ruddle, who'd just come back from competing in the ICN over in Australia. This is his 3rd show, I believe, and then he's got the Worlds coming up in Bali. But probably the standout of the show would have been the gentleman who won, who's Kamal Romley. Just beautiful. Just, full muscle insertions. Posing, I thought his side chest was a little bit weak for his structure, and that's just tweaking. But he's got real good symmetry and really nice full quads. Which is not something you always see in the natural federations. And like, his front double bicep is beautiful. As I said, side chest could do with some work, but like even his rear double bicep just needs to learn to open his back up a little bit to really make it sing. But his conditioning was on point. His symmetry was on point, and it was an interesting comparison to him and Sean. Sean was peeled, Sean's conditioning was on point, and Sean's a really good poser as well. Probably more suited to the classic physique from a posing perspective, to be fair. But Sean's conditioning was excellent from both front and back. Shredded glutes, Christmas tree going on in the lower back. Just not blessed with the full muscle bellies that Kamal had. So Kamal will be really interesting to watch to see how he goes in the Bali games, and I'm pretty sure he's going. He did win the Open overall and got a Pro Qualifier. Rachel can explain what a Pro Qualifier means.
So if you are Pro Qualified, it means that you basically have, it's almost like having a 1-year membership of being a pro. Like you're not an official pro, but yeah, you're allowed to enter pro shows for 1 year of getting that Pro Qualified card. So for the next year, he can enter any pro show he likes. I believe as many as he likes. And if he comes, usually it's top 3, but it does depend a little bit on numbers in the show. They usually let you know beforehand. But usually top 3, that means you get your official pro card. Yeah, that's Pro Qualified.
Yep, and thoroughly deserved. And you don't get it for just automatically winning the overall.
No, you only get it if the ICN feels you deserve it. Like if they feel, yes, you look like you can stand in a pro lineup and do well, that's when they will give you the PQ card. And then it was interesting, yeah, because the contrast with him and was it Corbin, the other guy that was
Corbin was
he the one that did
probably the hot favorite coming in. He came third. He didn't look particularly thrilled by it, but I think hopefully he takes the feedback with what it was intended and what it was meant to and improves. It just, Corbin has got it there, but Corbin, I mean,
he's only a junior, isn't he? Yeah, he's
got ages to go. And his conditioning just wasn't as crisp as it needed to be to take on, and he doesn't have the muscle maturity or balance compared, when you try to from upper body to lower body. Like Kamal was pretty much complete, and as I said, the only thing that I would say with Kamal is his posing needs to improve, which, to be fair, pretty much applied across all the male categories, because I'm sorry, gentlemen, other than Sean, who nailed that, it was just enough said.
Because there was a few comments where I said something to Chris about, oh, does he need to do this with his posing? And Chris was like, yes, that's exactly it. And I'm like, well, why can I tell this?
Yes. If the bikini champion is going, you probably need to listen, gentlemen. But yeah, the really, really strong. And that's good to see that level of athlete coming out from a natural federation. And with somebody like Corbin, who is so young, it does bode well for the future, because it does show that, there are guys backing up. And I would say Kamal still has some improvements to make from a conditioning perspective, but he was on the money, and it was a thoroughly deserved placing. And yeah, really strong lineup in the under 75s and the over 75s, and just goes to show size doesn't always win. But I got to say, Kamal looked a hell of a lot bigger than 75 kilos to me. I was like, how is he under 75? He must be 3 foot tall.
I mean, like, one thing so again, I'm a very untrained eye with the men's categories. One thing I thought that was interesting was I felt that the fuller look for natural physiques looks significantly better than being quite shredded, because once you get quite shredded as a natural, because it's hard to hold on to that level of muscle, it can make you quite stringy. So again, untrained eye, but I felt that potentially had Sean come in a little bit fuller, he would have given Kamal a better run for his money. But I mean, again, untrained eye by me, I don't know. But there's just my opinion of overall aesthetic is that with the natural guys, it's obviously harder to be that shredded and that big at the same time.
Yeah, they do tend to come in over depleted and over dieted for natural guys. It's kind of like they feel that they have to work harder and suffer a little bit more than the enhanced guys. And the reality is that's not necessarily true. So another thing that Sean had probably over Kamal was his tan was better. Like Sean's color was really good. He was on. He's going to think we're giving him props all day today. But his colour was on, and I thought Kamal was he looked a little ashy. And maybe, I don't know whether he got glaze done beforehand or whether he had his tan done by Shine at the venue, but that's something he needs to be aware of as well. So he's got it all there. I mean, the guy's,
he has a great stage charisma. He has a really great stage charisma as well. Like some of the guys, like they kind of look a little bit uncomfortable up there, or they just kind of like to give you that scary face. But Kamal had a really great stage presence, I felt. Sean had obviously great stage presence as well, but I felt that Kamal was quite charismatic on stage, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, again, I don't know too much about the men's categories, but that's just my outside opinion.
And I think Corbin probably got a little bit nervous, and you could see that in the way that he posed. But yeah, I thought that was really good, really solid presentation right across the board. So, and then after that, we moved on and went away from the bodybuilding, and we went into figure, which ICN has some sick figure girls, man. And it's kind of like in the NZIFBB. It's like, the South Island, they bring them out of the woodwork. And then I wasn't expecting this level of lineup for figure. I was like, one, how come there's so many of them?
There was
And two,
heaps of figure girls.
they're all pretty decent. The conditioning was,
The conditioning was
pretty
good.
Yeah.
Across the board.
So
first timers was pretty crazy as well. So first we had Kelly Redgate, who I think she might have been second in the open. Oh no, she wasn't. I lied. But she looked incredible, Kelly Redgate. She was very, very lean, great density, best overall package, definitely. I think she could probably improve a little bit through the lower glute area, but I mean that tends to be a problem area for a lot of the figure girls, just filling out that, I guess, the glute ham tie-in kind of thing. Again, I'm probably more inclined to look there because I'm more of a swimsuit bikini gal. But yes, no, I thought she looked absolutely incredible. And then second place, the one and only Nick, who was my posing client. I didn't pose her necessarily figure. I helped her with some transition, but most of her figure posing was done by Christina, who won bodybuilding. Nick, I mean, we knew going in that she was probably going to be a little bit on the smaller side for figure. Her side shot, though, was incredible. Her glutes are amazing. So yeah, probably just need a little bit more shoulders and lats. The upper body was lacking a little bit for her, but she is amazing. Like, I always say to her, I want to be like her when I grow up. She's such a hard worker. She did 3 different posing routines. 3.
Did she?
Well, because she had runway, swimsuit, and figure.
Oh, okay.
And it's her first ever show. So that was pretty crazy. That was pretty crazy.
Impressive. But that was... Actually, I'm just looking at the...
And third was Rita, who I believe was in the white. Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of white on stage, just in general, as a me thing. I find it can be quite hard to look at. I definitely think she pulled it off very well, because especially with the hair, she looked awesome. But in general, I do think white doesn't quite pop on stage as much as it could.
No, that's okay.
I'm just trying to go back to our photos here, figure photos.
I'm just looking at the figure photos going, some of these numbers don't match up.
They don't? Like, it's because you're not looking at the right class. Look at my ones. My ones show it a little bit better.
I am looking at your ones.
34 Rita, she was in the white. What are you looking at?
I have no idea.
We're going to have some editing.
You sent me 4,000 photos, so it's like...
They should be more or less in order. At least they're categorized.
This is true. I did appreciate that.
Anyway, moving on. Where are we at? So yes, Kelly, absolutely incredible. Great quads, great shoulders, awesome.
Yeah,
and then,
great shoulder cap, yeah. And a thoroughly deserved position, placing. And, you had a little bit of mixture of conditioning and size, which was really, really, good to see. And the posing generally for the figure girls I thought was pretty good as well. They had, good asymmetry rounds and stuff, so that was really good.
But I will say, figure girls, please, please, please practice your walk.
Yeah.
It tends to be quite
stumpy. And also opening your back up.
Yes, there were... I can't remember who it was, but there was one figure competitor that she didn't really know how to do the front pose. I don't know which lineup she was in. I don't remember who she was, but you could see her really struggling to figure out how to do a front pose. So please, please, please make sure you know how to do the poses before getting on stage.
And to be fair, the figure, because it's primarily symmetry related, it is quite difficult to get that front and back pose right where you're actually opening your back up. People have this tendency to try and think if they crunch it in and focus on getting it really tense, that you're going to see more details. But the reality is if you do that, it just makes you look really, really narrow. And that's kind of not really what they're looking for.
Yeah, definitely. Rita's back shot was awesome, though, I must say. Nick would have just had her on the conditioning, but if Rita can get in condition, woof. She doesn't need to be too much more conditioned, but yeah, she was pretty close. She looks good. Stunning stage presence, too, I have to say. She was gorgeous.
Yeah, I would say Rita was probably, from the figure class, I think, just the conditioning, but I think she's one to, if she brings it together for nationals, she's going to jump up those placings. She'll give the top 1 or 2 a real good run for their money. She's got that balance and symmetry. So, but the figure novice was a big lineup, 7. Ellie Clark took that one out.
I don't think I have photos of this one. Sorry, I think I ended up going backstage for a little bit at this point.
It's all right.
So yes, I apologize. I didn't entirely see most of
I
the
think I
other
was
lineups.
backstage at that stage as well. But the Ellie had really good conditioning. And you had a little bit of mix in the novice. You had Anna Dungy was in there as well, and then rounding out the top three was Kyla Mountfoot, who I understand is Joanna's daughter. Was also, I think, may have been. I don't think they had a juniors class for. Did they have juniors class? No.
No.
For figure. Yeah. So it was interesting to see Kyla up there as well. But it was a really, really strong lineup, very good conditioning. But the biggest lineup of the day was actually, for the figure, was the 40 plus, and taken out again by Kelly Redgate in that one. And again, she looks awesome, and that was, considering it was her first show, to take first timers 40 plus. Did she take any other classes in?
No, and I don't think she was in the open. Should have been.
Yeah, it should have been. But then again, she probably saw Karen Chen and thought, hell no. So, but I really liked also in the figure classes. I think she was only in the 30 plus, and then it was an
Holly?
open. I thought she's got such beautiful lines.
She is stunning. I actually went over to her backstage. I was like, I am obsessed with you. She is gorgeous. She has the most beautiful stage presence, coached by Lou Mullen. Shout out to her, because she's made so much progress since last year, because I remember we did this podcast last year, and I remember talking about her last year and how awesome her shape is. She is just absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if she did classic figure, but no, she did.
Probably better suited to classic figure, to be fair.
Yeah, I think she's better suited to classic figure. I think she probably, for figure, needed to be a little bit leaner. But again, she's gorgeous. She has great upper body, great lower body. Like, everything that is just needed to be a bit leaner, I think, for figure.
Yeah. And then in the open, that was taken out, of course, by the incredible Karen Chan.
Holly actually came second in the open.
Came second in that class, which was good.
And we had Mon, who is a world champion, I believe. I think she won something at World Champs, who rounded that out and came third.
Yeah, as I said, solid lineup. Karen Chan
let's
picked
go,
that
Karen.
one out. Yeah, she got a PQ card for that.
She's incredible.
I mean, it's definitely long overdue. Unfortunately, the thing is, you got to give Karen her props, because she took out the 60 plus class and the open and the overall. So for somebody to have had a competitive career and be training for as long as Karen has, and to consistently deliver that level of conditioning and that level of fullness, to then win a PQ, it's you have to take your hat off to consistency and time. And it was thoroughly deserved. Unfortunately, not to be a negative Nelly type thing, but it's possibly like 60 plus is a little bit late to be having a run as a pro. As good as it is, I'm not sure what she'll do with it, or whether we shall even choose to take the pro status. Maybe she'll choose to still compete as an amateur. Or whatever.
Don't doubt Karen Chan.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't.
She can do anything.
And Karen, we trust.
Exactly. Her and Charlie, they are just MVPs. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
they are inspiring. I want to be like them.
Yeah, I want to be like Charlie when I grow up.
You could be.
I could be. Yeah, I could be. I got a few years up my sleeve. I could catch him.
But anyway, and then we moved into a classic figure, which had a lot less people, which was really interesting, because usually I would think it would be the other way around.
Yeah, normally.
So it was quite interesting to have it as quite a bit like smaller than figure. I say figure because it's like extra word. But taking out novice, we had Kyla Mountford. So it seems the Mountfords are very good at producing classic figure athletes, because usually we would have Taylor Gibbs being one of our top classic figure.
But she can't be there anymore. She's moved on.
I think she just had, because Holly was in there as well, who came second. She came back for that one, and then Anna Dungy again for third. I think Kyla had slightly better condition potentially than Holly.
Slightly better presence, I would say. Tyler's got the silhouette, you know what I mean? She's got
Kyla.
Holly's got the silhouette and like the structure, but Holly needs a little bit more density to be able to show that off. And I think she's tall too, so she is tall. Yes, I mean her lower body versus her upper body. I mean, she's got legs and hips up to her freaking armpits, and she's got really broad shoulders and long arms. So she looks really elegant. But she doesn't have the density or the muscularity that you would want to see in figure. So it's kind of like, where does she belong? But I think classic figure is better suited to her than figure. But yeah, it was a good lineup. Kyla posing was a little rusty, which I thought was fairly common across the figure classes. But there were a couple of issues with her side pose where she brings her shoulder up her lead shoulder, which sort of throws off the symmetry a bit. But I thought Kyla's got a really promising competitive career ahead of her. I mean, obviously comes from good genes, so she should be fine.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, there was some really good athletes in there. And then in the 40 plus, we had Anna Duggie taking that one out, Ellie Clark in second, Christina in third. Christina, again, like we say, she's definitely more suited towards the bodybuilding class. I think she would have got knocked for just being too big. So, I mean, amazing physique. Great posing as well. Just, yeah, probably got knocked for being too big for figure and looking like a bodybuilder, which is not a bad problem to have.
No, it's better to have too much and then have to lose it than to have not enough and think, now what I got to do. And then in the open, Kyla Mountford took that one out again. There wasn't an overall for classic figure, which I'm not sure.
I guess we can assume Kyla would have taken that.
Assume Kyla would have taken that out.
And then we had Libby in second. I did feel that Libby should have been in fitness because she just didn't quite have the size for figure, but she was very lean. Conditioning was very good. So yeah, I felt like potentially fitness could have been a better fit for her.
Yeah, I would agree. And then we moved on to the sparkle categories. Woohoo!
We had swimsuit, the best one. So this was quite a big lineup. There was a lot of swimsuit girls. So swimsuit has come a long way over the years. It's pretty crazy because, what was it? My first ICN show, there was only 3 of us in swimsuit. That's it.
It's definitely moved on. I mean, there were 7 in first timers alone.
Yes. So that was taken out by Avani Tuck. Oh, wait. Yes. Yep. Avani, I felt like there was something off with her makeup. I don't know. I felt like there was something that in her makeup that didn't quite make her face pop as much as it could have. But she's gorgeous. Oh my goodness. She tall, lots of muscle. I think she can do really, really well. She just needs to improve a little bit on her presentation. Swimsuit was okay. I wouldn't say it was bad. I do think that it could have been better for her torso because the hip was quite low and she has a very, very, very long torso. Probably the longest torso in the entire swimsuit class, which having that low hip makes it look longer. So I did feel like potentially having a slightly higher hip on the swimsuit could balance her out a little bit more. But she is incredible. Great glutes, great shoulders, great shape. Just I think she could have hit her poses a little bit better, just presentation tweaks. But I mean, again, she's a first timer. She did incredible. Like there's experienced athletes who don't do as well as her. So
no, that's true. And there was, I mean, full credit to the athletes in the ICN. There was a little bit of a snafu with that class. There was a lady who was competing in first timers who technically wasn't eligible for first timers, but both the federation and the athlete actually dealt with that on the day, and there was a little bit of changing around and posing. So I have to acknowledge both the athlete and the federation for handling that really, really, really gracefully, because it wasn't the fault of the athlete and it wasn't the fault of the federation, but it was dealt with and it was handled really nicely and all the athletes were happy with it. So we're not going to name which athlete it was, but we give both the athlete and the judging panel full thumbs up for handling that gracefully and professionally. So
just a reminder, people, when it says first timer, it means first timer ever competing, not first time in that category. Okay. Just a little reminder for everyone. But yeah, second place we had Jess Wong, who I actually know from a little while back. She's stunning. I think she just needed to be a bit leaner and possibly hit her poses a touch better. But overall, she brought a really great shape, especially for her show. And then in third place, we had Jemima. Jemima was kind of in between classes, I felt.
Yeah.
Her upper body was kind of closer to fitness, but then her glutes were swimsuit bikini. So she kind of had
conditioning was probably closer to fitness than it was to swimsuit. She had fairly defined
delts,
and also there was a fair amount of separation between her quads and her hamstrings. So swimsuit is a tough one. Swimsuit and bikini and ICN are a tough one. You know, the conditioning is, you have to have the conditioning, you have to have the muscularity, but you need to be reasonably full. I won't say soft because that doesn't.
No, you need to be quite full. You don't want to have too much separation. It's just like you want. It's like bubble. It's a little bit bubbly muscle. Like it's just like you want to see the shape of the muscle, but you don't want to see the muscle itself.
Yeah, you want the suggestion, shall we say?
So yes, just probably a little bit too lean for swimsuit, but she was absolutely gorgeous. Stunning look. Just either needs to soften up for swimsuit, but then potentially her lower body might get too soft. Or lean out a little bit more to go into fitness. So just a little bit in between class, which it happened for quite a few girls, I felt.
Mm-hmm.
Just across the board, there was a lot of girls who probably should have been in fitness who weren't, which was quite interesting. But yes, no, well done to all our first timers. Absolutely amazing job. Then we went into novice, which this was a huge lineup.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Huge lineup. This was basically the lineup, to be honest. So in first place, we had the one, the only, Adriana Wislang.
You mean Rachel Mead 2.0?
Yeah, we've had a few
actually,
jokes.
no. Junior Rachel Mead. She's got a few years ago. Yeah, but yeah, she presented very, very well. Her posing was on point. Well done, Rachel. You know, she's obviously very young, and you can tell that physically.
She's a junior.
She's got a long way to go, but in time, she's going to be. You know, she cleaned up the show and whatever she did, but her presence when she came on stage was just like, oh yeah, okay, right. And she posed really, really well. Took instructions well too, I must say, Ms. Mead. She
did.
Not that she could miss them, because there was some bellowing coming from the back of the audience.
No, she did an amazing job, but definitely I do think her main strength was definitely she outposed the other girls. I think on another day, okay, I do need to make an honourable mention to Lenka, number 55. I think that she actually had the best physique, but she just didn't show it.
Probably had the best physique, best conditioning. She's very European, and by that we mean very IFBB Federation. She's got
IFBB Elite, that is, not IFBB, New Zealand version.
It's actually called the IFBB Federation. That's
I know, but just for the people who don't know. But no, okay. I've actually competed with her before back in the day. But she has an incredible physique. I think had she shown it, could have won. So yeah, I do need to make an honourable mention to her because I thought she's absolutely stunning. And her physique is very scary. Like, I would be scared to stand next to her in the lineup.
She got, to be fair, she got heavily penalised. You know, she was 4th overall, but as you said, easily on another day could have been 1st or 2nd. Yeah.
Definitely, I think her back shot was second. I felt Mia definitely won the back shot. Yeah. Adriana definitely, her weakness is that rear shot, but she cleaned up the 3, like the side poses and the front pose, which obviously gave her, when you clean up 3 out of 4, it kind of gives you the win.
Yeah, that's an age and experience from a training perspective. She doesn't have the muscle mass to have, you know, in her back or her glutes. She doesn't, you know, she's just not there yet, but she's got the foundation and the frame. So in a year or so, she's going to be scary. Oh,
well, I mean, the progress from last year. So I actually made her suit last year. So I've got photos and videos of her posing and even just in general from last year. And it's day and night, the difference compared to last year. It's crazy the amount of progress she's made in the 1 year. So hats off to her. And I just remember seeing her last year and thinking, wow, her presence is amazing. So I can't take credit for that one because even though last year her poses and posing wasn't the best, her presence, she's like Kamal, she's got that charismatic presence. You want to look at her. She's also just like such a genuine, lovely human being. Like she's one of those people you want to be around.
Yeah, she sparkles on stage.
She does.
You know,
she does. Especially when the smile. When she turns on that smile, it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
So
it's like, okay.
And then amazing structure. So yeah, she's going to go far. But yes. And then second place, we had Mia, who again, stunning, great stage presence, won the back shot. Although I do feel like she probably bent over a little bit too far from memory. But I mean, again, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, won the back shot. Adriana just had her in those front shots. And then, third place was... who was it? Yubi. That was an interesting one. Not necessarily just... I felt that she looked more like sports model.
Yeah, I think she was sports model, potentially even. in
wellness, or borderline.
No, wellness.
Borderline? Not quite, but
probably
like grow into...
Maybe even classic figure, to be fair, because she's very statuesque, but... She, by herself, she's got beautiful symmetry, beautiful sweeps into all of her muscles and stuff like that. But when you put her up in swimsuit in a lineup, she literally monstered people from a size perspective. And it did not serve her well. It's not that her conditioning was bad. She was obviously a little bit fuller than the other girls. But I think...
She looked quite thick. Not thick in a bad way. Not thick as in blocky, but thick as in like, damn, look at those legs and glutes. Which we were checking her out backstage, I'll admit. We were looking at her backstage like, damn, look at those glutes. Like, she is incredible. She looks amazing.
Yeah, and she had a really good walk, really good back walk. She controlled everything. As Beck Williams would say, she did not wiggle or jiggle. She had that going. I just felt on the day on the lineup, she just looked oversized.
Yeah.
So, and I know she'd taken a year off last year to have a good growth season. So I would say with some tighter conditioning, which potentially might push her out of swimsuit and bikini anyway, she probably would be better off working with a coaching team on finding a category that actually suits this beautiful structure that she has. I mean, she does.
Yeah,
She's
stunning structure.
Her shoulder to waist ratio and hip ratio and all that is just absolutely beautiful. And the quad sweep, her glutes are really, really nice. And she's got a really nice silhouette. I just don't feel that in this show those were the right choice of classes for her. So I think that maybe she needs to really sit down and have a chat get the judges' feedback, and then have a chat with her team and say, okay, what is the best direction for us to go? So yeah, but as I said, by herself, amazing. In a lineup of other girls that are more in fitting with the criteria, she just looked massive. Which is often not a bad thing in bodybuilding.
No, it's not a bad thing at all. Like, I'd rather look too big and too buff than not big enough, to be honest. Like, that's because it's bodybuilding. And I think also special mention to Stephanie Van Eden, I think you pronounce it, who was a transformation athlete. She was absolutely amazing on stage. Congratulations to her. She brought a beautiful presence. Just absolutely, looked amazing. Yep. Shout out to her.
She did really good shout out. I did think there might have been a few issues with choice of swimsuit. It was just, there was a couple of maybe design issues for her physique, which she can work on. But I thought her stage presence and...
We did adjust it backstage a little bit. We did what we could with it. I didn't make this one. But yeah, I think, it's, just that particular style of swimsuit tends to ride up a little bit. But yeah, no, overall, she was, beautiful. Congratulations. I just wanted to have that honorable mention to her because she smashed it.
She smashed it, bro. What do we have next? The age categories had 2 and 50 plus, 1 and 40 plus. Good strong lineup in the 30 plus. There was 5 ladies in there. 30 plus, Yubi took that one out. I was like, how the hell is she 30? It was like, nah. And Mia came in second, and that one was a real close call. I can see why they went the way that the judges went the way they did. As I said,
this was interesting though because Mia beat Yubi earlier. In the novice. So that was an interesting one that it swapped.
Yeah, which again, I would say it came down to probably Mia's posing. She tends to stand a little straight, so she looks straight up and down. And when Yubi gets it on point with just the dimensions she's got, she can, outshine somebody. So it would have just been just a little tweak in posing between rounds, presenting a different look, and you can see why it went the way it did.
Was different also because Adriana wasn't in that lineup.
No.
So I wonder if that also
much more similar.
Yeah, I wonder if Adriana's presence made a difference to how those two got compared.
Yeah. And this was another one where I think I don't know why, but this obviously wasn't Lenka's day. As you said, physique-wise, structurally-wise, she's got it all there, but she just wasn't speaking to the judges, and I don't know why.
I mean, I probably would have had her in third in this lineup, but I mean...
Yeah, I probably, just on conditioning alone, I probably would have had her either third or second, to be fair. But yeah, for whatever reason, the judges were just like, nah, this wasn't. And that does happen. There are times
it just wasn't her day.
Yeah, it just wasn't her day. And that's no reflection on her as an athlete because she had stunning physique. Now, this was one where you and I were like, but that's why we don't judge anymore. And then what do we do? Oh, then we had the Open. Again, pretty similar lineup to Novice. I don't think there was anything different there. Pretty much the same price.
Adriana took that one out, which, same placings pretty much as it was. Yeah, with Ivani in second and Yubi in third. Yeah, so nothing too crazy. We didn't mention, for our Masters, honourable mention to, again, the beautiful Nick McConda. Yep. Again, just a little bit too lean for swimsuit. But the list for days.
Yeah, but swimsuit's not really her day. Her bag, I'd say. Overall, and a PQ went to Adriana in this one.
Because she took the overall.
She took the overall. To be fair, I'm going to disagree with the judging panel on this one. As stunning as Adriana is, she is not pro caliber yet. And to get a pro qualifier, they do say that you should be able to step onto the pro stage now. If she and Adriana's stunning, but sorry, Rachel, if she stepped on stage next to you, you would kill her. She's just not there yet. And I think
they were clearly
she deserves
hypnotized. They were hypnotized by her amazing posing and stage presence.
Brenda's going to be texting me after this game. What the? And I thought Adriana was the athlete of the show. She cleaned up in that thing, and she is like you last year, Rachel. She is swimsuit.
And if there was a best posing award of their show, she would have had it. Like you
do realize we have to vote on this at the end of the year, Rachel. So
I know
you don't.
I know.
I might just have to remove you from the judging panel for the best.
I'm just not allowed to vote Adriana.
Yeah, it'd be like, we know who you're voting for. Just be quiet.
But no, I do think that on another day, like she probably would have been third on another day if she didn't have the posing she did, like purely physique wise. I think she probably would have been third. Because she probably
purely potential wise and on initial first impression, she is stunning. But again, my only gripe was that I do not think that she was deserved. I don't think it's appropriate to give an athlete of that level a pro qualifier when, if she was to compete against seasoned pros, she would not stack up as well as she should. So that's my only gripe. Don't get me wrong, athlete of the show, she's stunning.
I say nothing.
Yeah. So you can text Adriana and say, yeah, maybe don't listen to this podcast because Chris talks smack about you.
Just skip through the 50-minute mark. But no, yeah, she needs a little bit more size, obviously, and then especially from the back, needs a little bit of work. But I do think she definitely has the best overall structure for swimsuit. Like she just
by a long shot.
Yeah, her structure is just, it screams swimsuit. So definitely amazing work to her. Across the board of the swimsuit ladies, though, I think everyone needs to, like, most athletes need to work on that front pose. The side poses were okay, but the front pose is just all over the show. I don't know what it, like, so the front pose that I have, like, myself and Adriana obviously doing, I feel like that one, generally, if your structure is for swimsuit, that is kind of the one to do. When you have girls doing, like, the T pose or the wellness front pose, like, for example, Yubi did, I felt that wasn't the right decision for her because she already was a bit thicker. That is a thick, muscular pose. So I think, in general, the front pose across the board needs work, and the walk to the back. So make sure we are working on that, because those were kind of the two biggest posing mistakes I saw. Along with posing coaches, please explain to your clients the half and half switch that ICN does, because most people have no idea what's going on when that happens. So they will take half the line up, tell them to step back, and switch everyone across. So it's just everyone moves at the same time. And so many people were so confused because their coaches hadn't explained it to them.
It was the walking across to the other side. It's rather than turning and walking, like doing a transition and walking normally, they were all face forward and sort of like crab walk, like duck, 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 one sided. I was like, okay, all right.
And they were all just very confused. So please, posing coaches, just tell your athletes what's going on, because like, that one was like, that shouldn't happen. You shouldn't be confused about that, because ICN does it all the time. It's not an uncommon thing. So yes, that's just one thing I need to say.
And we've said it, so we can move on. And where did we get to next?
Well, then it was classic.
Classic physique. Rachel checked out at this point.
Well, I think I was backstage just celebrating with Adriana at this point.
Yeah, I think you were. I think actually, no, you were backstage getting her dress ready.
That too.
The men's 23 was a really strong lineup. I think there was 7 guys in that. Taken out by Miles Brown, actually, who I did a little interview backstage. Kid's got a lot of potential. He's just got a beautiful shoulder caps, nice full chest, got good sweep to his quads. And for a guy who's under 23, as I said, he took that one out. He took out the first timers. Did he take out? Oh, there was 2 classes in first timers. Sorry, they split because the first timers was big. I think there was like 14 people. And then he took out the novice class. And unfortunately, after that point, he started running into some much bigger guys. And so, yeah, it was with it. But I think Miles has got a really, really good future ahead of him. And then in second place in the first timers, in the 23s was Corbin Watson. Corbin probably justifiably so, not terribly happy with his placing. But, another day, another time, a slightly better conditioning. I think we'll see that step up. The first timers class was massive. There was 12. So they split it into 2. Miles took out the class 1, and then Joseph Beelman took out class 2. Both guys had really, really good conditioning, different strengths in each one. But, and this is where the difference in enhanced or non-tested bodybuilding and classic comes out, these guys will get a fair amount of grief for lacking in size. And that's unfair. This is the look that these natural federations are looking for. And all of these guys presented really well for what the criteria was. They're not supposed to look like enhanced athletes, and if they do, they will get marked down. So I thought their conditioning was really good, their fullness was really good, and I don't think there was any bad conditioning in the whole show, in the whole class, which I thought was quite interesting. What do we have after that? Then we went on to
the novice.
Yeah.
So it's men's classic novice, taken out by Miles again, and
Yep.
we had 30 plus, Sean Ruddle, who also took out the 40 plus and the overall.
Yeah, which was, they did a pose down, I think, with all of the classes of the classic physique. And that was really, really awesome. There was like, when they did the novice one, they had 12 of them up there doing their pose down. And it was really good just actually watching these guys put each other through their paces. And you could see the camaraderie between the guys. It wasn't overly forced or any negative behavior going on. It was really, really the sportsmanship side, which I know is part of the ICN's, not rules, but the culture was very, very present, and so kudos to all of them. Then we did special mention we must give to athlete number 70. He was
70?
men's classic physique.
I don't see a number 70.
Joseph Schelling. He was 5th in the open category. If there was a men's posing of the day award, it would go to young Joseph. He only did, he'd also probably win best hair award. This is one I was mentioning to you before, Rachel. It's like gives Charlie a run for his money on posing. Although ICN doesn't have posing rounds, they obviously, when you come out and do your initial presentation, there's some free posing in there, and he had some beautiful classic posing, and very handsome gentleman with a very, very, I'm very jealous of his hair, although we'll just leave it at that. But I think his posing was really, really good. He was a little on the small side, but his presentation was excellent.
Easy. Anything else to say on the classic physique?
No, good class. Sean Ruddle took that out. Pro Qualifier, well deserved overall, and that one. Classic is where he belongs. Doesn't really belong in bodybuilding, but I thought that was really, really good. And then the next class was the transformation. This is the only show that ICN does the transformation in. So annually it's done at the Great Lakes Classic. So they did a 6-month and a 1 year. There were there were males. There were 2 males. I didn't see them.
There was 2 guys.
Did you see them?
I did see one of them, I think, but not the other. I only saw one.
I didn't see either of them. I just thought there were only the ladies there. Shout out, of course, goes to the fabulous Denise Edwards, who swore she was never ever going to do this again. She's usually doing the tabulation, but she dusted off the heels and the sparkles this year and got back in there. She did amazing.
And we need to appreciate these sparkles on her dress because it was incredibly shiny.
Very sparkly. She was rocking the sparkles.
And then 6 month, Steph won that, who we mentioned before for the swimsuit. So amazing job to Steph. And her dress was stunning. It was absolutely perfect for her.
Appropriate for
she wore it again later for Runway, which we will talk about later, but it was absolutely perfect for her. It was beautiful for her shape. It just, it brought everything together. So well done.
And the 1 year transformation taken out by Jenny Page, again, looked amazing. I mean, the transformation that these ladies go through over that time, these are ones where it bunches my undies, shall we say, to the negativity displayed to these people when they're doing a transformation about that they shouldn't be doing a bodybuilding show, and and some of it, the hostility that is displayed to these people. It's a transformation. That when you're looking at the pictures, and if you feel that you've got the mental capacity to talk somebody down who had the balls to get up on stage, who's obviously not an elite bodybuilder, and you're going to talk smack about them, you deserve to be called out for being a dick. Because 9 out of 10 times, half of you guys are making this negative bullshit about these people who go through this transformation. Can't even stick to a diet yourself and get on stage. So shut the F up. Give these ladies the applause and these gentlemen that they deserve. And just, if you got something to say good job. And if you don't have that to say, then shut the hell up.
I agree. I was just thinking, we need to get t-shirts that say, don't be a dick. We should make t-shirts.
We'll get those for Palmy.
But no, 100%. So there's like a particular lady, I don't know if she wants to be named or not, but she did get a lot of hurtful comments on an Instagram post she made a little while back. And it's really horrible because she is incredible. Like, she probably knows who I'm talking about. And like, she has not only lost all the weight she lost, I think it was definitely over 30 kgs from memory. And she's not only kept it off, she has lost more. She's continued to improve, and she's not just over dieting or anything. She's building muscle. She's recomping.
She's changed
amazing.
her lifestyle. Yeah.
And for someone to then have a go at her for getting on stage because of that is just... Honestly, there's usually two types of people that will do it. It's usually either the male bodybuilders who are... Yeah, that's all we need to say.
Who've probably never stepped on stage themselves because they just want to be swollen, and the idea of dieting is just foreign.
Or they're just too roided up. The other type is the people who have literally never completed it in their lives, and they're just the like backseat drivers, and they've never experienced dieting or anything themselves. Yeah. So those are usually the two types of people. And I'm just like, I can't believe you take the time out of your day to write that on someone's post. Like, just keep scrolling if you don't want to see it.
Yeah, it's like, just don't be a dick. I mean, it's called transformation for a reason. They're not going to step on stage and look like frickin' Arnold Schwarzenegger or Miss Olympia. It's like these people have gone through a lifestyle journey. Shut the hell up and praise them for what they've done. And I'm sorry if you don't think it's good enough that they shouldn't get on stage if they don't have a six-pack, or they shouldn't get on stage if they've got extra skin, or they've got stretch marks. You know what? If you've got a problem, go on a diet, get your ass on stage.
Exactly. No, 100%. I think we can probably move on from there because we've had a bit of a rant there. We don't like those people very much who hate on our transformation people because respect the effort. Respect the effort.
All right. Ms. Runway Queen, take it away.
Yeah. This is the first time that we have in New Zealand, I don't know about overseas, but in New Zealand at least, had a 40-plus runway category. So that's absolutely awesome. Usually there's only open runway. There's only the one class. So we had quite a few runway ladies this year, which was really cool. So in our 40 plus, we had Mariana Morrison taking that one out. I think overall, best look, best presentation.
Yeah, definitely.
Her dress was stunning. Yeah, great posing. I think that second and third could have been switched, I felt.
Could have
gone either way. So we had Melissa Parker and Karen McDonald. I felt that Mel had the posing over Karen. I think Karen's look was probably a little bit more traditionally runway, but Melissa had much better posing and presentation, which was what got her the edge to get that second.
Yep.
But overall, stunning lineup. So with Christina, I did a posing session with her, and trying to hide her triceps, it was a mission because she's so jacked. So definitely Christina was probably a little bit too jacked for runway, but brought a phenomenal package, stunning stage presence. Like, she was, is beauty, is grace. And then we also had Nicole, who again I worked with for posing. Probably too lean for runway, but I thought that her posing was definitely one of the best of the lineup. I was so proud of her because, like, with the walk, she led the walk around the stage, which was really funny because we had the discussion that it was going to be very unlikely that she would have to lead, and then she had to lead. But she did an absolutely amazing job. I was very, very proud of her. I thought she was just, absolute grace, elegance, poise, just probably too lean for what they want from runway.
I think, was it Christina Moore in the black dress?
Yes, Christina.
Is that Christina? I thought that dress and everything was stunning it looked appropriate for her. I mean, obviously, from the physique criteria, she was far too muscular. But I think the dress and her presence and her posing was really, really strong. And the only reason that she didn't place higher is she is a more muscular athlete, and that's not what runway is about.
Yeah, so she got knocked down pretty hard for that. I wonder if wearing sleeves could have helped, like loose sleeves. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it worked for the dress that she was wearing. Everything about it was like presented really, really well. And I guess it's like anything. Like if you do train and you have those shoulders and those arms, why would you cover them up?
Exactly. No, I know she was really stoked with what she brought to runway. Amazing job to all these ladies. I do have to say though, the people who do the double biceps in runway, I'm not quite sure why, because usually it is the muscular athletes that do it. And when you're already being pinged for being too muscular, probably not an idea to just show the athletes the judges that again while they're finalizing their scores. But that's just me.
That's fun for the audience.
It is fun for the audience, but it was like Melissa, for example, did it as well. And because she was, again, I'd say borderlining bit too big in the shoulders for Runway. Then she did the front double bicep. I was like, ooh, I don't know how that's going to go. But I mean, again, it worked for her. But yeah, I just usually wouldn't recommend that, especially if your shoulders and arms are on the bigger side for Runway. I don't think it's always the best decision. But yeah, stunning stage presence, great posing. Pretty good across the board, I felt.
And then we moved into the open runway, which was pretty much a cleanup for the queen for the day, Adriana, number 56. In the infamous red dress, which we know we have seen before.
I wonder where you could have seen that one for. This dress is definitely quite famous at this point. But yes, no, Adriana, again, just smoked it on the posing. So it was her, Steph, and Libby. So I think Libby was just a little bit too lean and, like, actually not too bad, though. She was actually pretty close, I think, to a really nice runway look. I felt that the main edge that Adriana had over her was the posing. And then, again, Steph had a beautiful dress for her shape. Probably just, again, not quite lean enough, but absolutely stunning. Like, she did really well on the posing and everything. So, yeah, I felt that, Adriana kind of cleaned everything. Like her posing was stunning. The dress is obviously great, as can't fault that. The other gripe I have with Runway, again, I always say this to people, is the back pose. The traditional back pose is not good for the dresses. No. It very rarely works. It almost never works.
No. It's wrong. It's just don't do it.
Find another pose.
Find another pose, yes. Watch some videos of Rachel doing it, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, you don't have to do the exact one that I did. So, for example, I told Christina and Nick to do a different one, because when they had their arms up, or even holding their hair like what I had Adriana doing, because they had an asymmetrical dress, it didn't work. It made them look like they were leaning sideways. So they actually had their hands on their hips and like a little, look at me, I'm awesome. So yeah, there's no rules on how you have to pose for Runway. People just default
you have to pose appropriately to your physique, and doing the standard swimsuit, bikini, whatever back pose, just, it makes you look like an upside down Dorito.
Yeah, it generally isn't good. It makes you look very blocky, because the dress, most people, unless you have like a lot of flair, but like most people, it's just going to make your dress sit straight out and it's just going to look very blocky. So you're not emphasizing your shape. So guys, please work on that back pose.
Yeah. And then we move on to the boys categories, which we will be remiss not going through. Strong lineups right across. So we're actually big lineups, so 6 to 7 across each class. The men's physique juniors taken out by Austin G. He really nice structure, beautiful wide shoulders, nice delt caps, full deep chest. Fairly probably close between him and second, which was Hepatia Winetti. Hepatia, I probably pronounced that shockingly. Who had beautiful shoulders and biceps, but probably lacking a little bit in the width of the shoulder. But yeah, really, really strong. And that looks like the only photo I took of men's physique. So that's
that went well. Today.
Yep, excellent. Moving on. Okay, wrapping that up. Then in the first timers, they actually did 2 classes. So there were 13 guys in first timers, which is awesome. Class 1 was taken out by Josh Osteen, with Nathan Viaja came in second. And class 2 was taken out by Dylan Wilson, and in second was Daniel Engelbrecht. So really, really good, promising, good conditioning right across the board for that class. Novice, there were 5, taken out by Clinton Mahia. Austin G, who was in the 23s, he came in second. And then good smattering of guys across the age categories in 40 plus and also 60 plus. Lloyd Rangetawa took out the 60 plus, and Clinton Mahia took out the 40 plus. And then in the open, weirdly enough, there were only 2. Dylan Wilson took that out, who also took out the first timers. So good job to Dylan. He won the overall for men's physique as well. All right. And drum roll for what I was there for. Ms. Wellness, we did have a teammate in that class, which was awesome to see. We had Shelley Blackler was up from Invercargill for that. Her first time at ICN and her first time on stage in
3
almost 3 years, I think. Yeah, 3 years, I think. So she ventured to the dark side.
Or the
light side, yeah. First timers, there was 2. First timers and novice, same ladies. We had Trish Clark and Libby Hesquith. Libby took those 2 out.
I do still feel like Libby probably wasn't entirely suited to wellness, but I thought she should have been, again, in fitness. I think she needs a lot more size if she wants to do wellness. She posed it well. But...
Yeah, and she had better conditioning, I would say.
Yeah, her conditioning was good.
In 30 plus, we had 2. We had Melissa Parker and Mariana Morrison. Melissa, I think wellness is better suited to her. She's got bigger glutes, bigger leg muscles. Conditioning just wasn't there. So... that was understandable how she lost out to number 52 Mariana. And then in your open class, you had Shelley Blackcliff, Trish Clark, and Melissa Parker. A thoroughly deserved, and you could argue dominant win for Shelley in that class. Shelley is wellness. She, you know,
yeah, you could not put say that she wasn't she's through and through wellness. She's one of those ones you don't you can just see it straight away. Like if you're true wellness, it's very easy to pick out. It's very, very easy straight away.
Yeah, and she did remarkably well to she struggled a lot through the prep, but she persevered, and a little bit nervous on the posing, I thought, but again, hasn't been on stage for many, many years, and was turning the other direction because IFBB goes the other way. But yeah, definitely wellness, and that was the feedback from a lot of people backstage. It was just like, wow, that is wellness. So we'll be looking forward to seeing what she brings to nationals. So congratulations there, and obviously she won the overall in that class as well. What's up next, Rachel? We got
the fitness. Yes, Miss Fitness Model. So, only one first-timer, Shelley, and then into novice. Okay, and the novice was one of my my favorite physique of the entire day. Now, she didn't play. Oh, well, she placed third. So, it was Shihan. She is gorgeous. I need to have this speech here. So, I made this speech on Instagram, and it is her. This is the one I was talking about. I had a discussion with her backstage as well. She is stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. Her physique just didn't quite fit into any of the categories. She needed to be a little bit, she wasn't quite lean enough for fitness model, but she would have been too big for bikini. And to do wellness, she would need to put on a lot of density in her legs. So she's kind of in between all of the categories. But again, if I was going to look like anyone, I'd look at her. She's gorgeous, amazing physique, just needs to make some tweaks to fit into a category and then enter said correct category. It is quite hard for her to kind of place her. Again, she could grow into wellness, or she could shred into sports model or fitness model. But yeah. Gorgeous physique. So yeah, even though she didn't necessarily place that well, absolutely incredible physique. You cannot. Yeah. So yeah.
Can't fault. And then there was in 40 plus, you had that was taken out by Marina Hill, one of our teammates. So go Marina. She also took out the 50 plus. And she took out the open, and she took out the overall,
and she got a Pro Qualifier.
Yeah. And again, I take my hat off to her. Her peak week was tough, and she's very, very hard on herself. So she was kicking herself with some of her posing transitions and all that sort of carry on. It's like, look,
her transitions were pretty good. I think her biggest thing was just smiling more. I think we just needed to get her presence a little bit, a bit more smiling. A little bit more looking happy to be there. That was probably the main thing I noticed on her posing. Everything else, you can't really knock it too much.
And she was full. She had this definition that they were looking for a fitness model. The feathering in her glutes was not dominant, which was good. So overall, really, really happy result for Marina. She well and truly deserved that, and I definitely take my hat off to her, and she thoroughly deserved that PQ status. It'll be interesting to see what she does for nationals, whether she goes straight into the pro show or she goes after the national title. And I'm strongly thinking she's going to do just what Ms. Mead did, which is say, no, I'm going to win my pro.
And it's a nice feeling being up at the top of the podium. Unless the only other way around that is if you go and win the pro show,
which of course is always possible.
And it's always possible. But yeah, no, I do think also, again, strong showing from Rachel Shearer. Gave Marina a good run for her money. Fantastic. Shoulders, oh my god. Shoulders for days. I think Marina was a bit more balanced overall.
That would have been the difference at the end of the day. But yeah, overall, real good strong showing in that class in general.
But yeah, and then we go to everyone's favourite category, Miss Bikini Model. So this was a strong lineup. It was huge. There was quite a lot of girls. It was very strong. So in under 23, we had a rematch of Ivani and Adriana. Now, I have to say, Ivani, please wear a different colour if you're going to do nationals. I felt that suit really washed out on stage. It was too light, and I just think,
it was very sparkly, but it was just, as you said,
it didn't pop.
It was the base color was just a little bit too light.
No, it was the crystal color, not the base. It was the crystals.
Oh, the crystal. We know. I don't know.
The base was fine. It was like a purple. So from the back, it actually looked alright. It was from the front. It had all these. I don't know if they were white or if they were AB, but it just reflected very white.
It did.
So yeah, I think just overall presentation is something that that's probably Avani's main thing to work on. Her physique is phenomenal, though. If she can get her presentation down, she's going to be very, very dangerous at nationals. If she does nationals, assuming she does. But yeah, so she definitely had the back pose on Adriana. But oh my god, actually, that's something else we need to say about Avani. Holy shit, her back pose when she opens her lats and comes into that back pose. Wow.
She's very strong.
Like, there's just this wow moment. It's like when the figure girls do their lat spread. It's just like, holy shit. So, hats off to her for that one. Because, yeah, as soon as she gets into that back pose, you're like, oh my god, look at that taper. Because her waist is tiny as well. So, yeah, she definitely had the back pose. But, again, Adriana took the front poses and took out she just had the better presentation and posing. Yep. On another day, placings could have gone the other way. But, yeah, I think Avani's going to be very, very dangerous if she can get that presentation right.
I would agree. Big, strong lineup in novice. I think the novice class was potentially one of the strongest classes of the day. Did I?
Yeah.
What do we do?
First timer, we had Jess Wong taking out. So she also did pretty well in swimsuit. She had the beautiful red bikini on. Again, I think she just needs to hit her poses a touch better, a little bit leaner. But again, very strong showing as a first timer. And then Avani in second, which I'm going to actually honestly put down to presentation because in theory, Avani should have taken that. And then we had Jemima in third, who I think I think we said that in swimsuit, her shoulders were more suited to fitness, a little bit too shredded. Yep. Her bikini color was beautiful though. It was stunning.
Stunning. Yeah, very good. Then we went into novice, which was big long lineup. What was there? 8. Taken out by the today's queen of the day, Adriana. Second was
Mia. I think it's Mia.
And then third was Linka, which I thought was a better showing for Linka, and that was probably fair. Somewhere between, she could have easily been third or second. And then Jess Wong took out fourth in that one as well, so that was a really good show. Then in the 30 plus, there were 5. Mia took that one out, with Linka took a second in that, so it was good. And then there was 4 and 40 plus, which was awesome. And they had Angela Kim took that one out, which I thought was a really good showing for Angela. She had her conditioning was on point, I thought. Yep. She had a good, strong, particularly front and side pose, I thought was really strong. So, yeah, that was...
I think just hitting her poses better possibly could have given her the edge, because, again, I think she actually had better density.
Yeah.
I don't know, was she a little bit too lean, just a touch?
Just a touch.
Just a touch too lean. But overall, physique-wise, she probably had it over Mia, but I think she was posing too front on. So yes, I think she just needed to hit those poses better. Again, the posing is so important in bikini, because if you don't show your physique, like, it's just, it makes a huge difference. It's the same with Linka. Again, probably best physique on the day, but didn't place it because she just wasn't quite showing it properly.
Wasn't quite showing it. Yeah. And then what did we do? With 40 plus, there's Angela Kim took that one out. And then Karen McDonald took out the 50 plus. Very strong showing for both those ladies. Then the Mama class, which is a unique one to ICN. Jackie Visagi took that one out. And then Bikini Open. Real strong class for Bikini Open. Again, a lot of the ladies were a novice. Adriana, of course, took that out. Followed by Mia in second. And then Linka got third in that.
And Avani in fourth. That was interesting.
Yeah, no, true. Adriana took out the overall. No PQ for that one, which interesting.
Well, I think she does have a better swimsuit look than bikini. Like, definitely, you can't argue. I think for swimsuit, because in theory, you would have a little bit less muscle for swimsuit than bikini. So I think the argument just wasn't quite there for the bikini.
She doesn't have the back pose in bikini at this stage, but it'll come. She's got a really strong future. Getting close to the end.
So bikini, shout out to Adriana, clean sweep across all 3 categories.
Yep, slam dunk.
So that was pretty
Rachel
awesome.
Mead 2.0. Baby Rach. We call her Baby Rach. Baby. There's Baby Shark, there's Baby Rach.
But yes, again, just front pose. People. Yeah. The front pose. The side poses, again, are usually pretty consistent. It's just the front pose. And the back walk. Oh my god, the back walk. People, keep your glutes up.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of that. Just like, drop your glutes. No.
Another honorable mention too, was it number 104? Gorgeous. Wait, what was her name? Oh yeah, Jackie, who took out Bikini Mama. Absolutely stunning. But should have been in fitness. She would have actually probably given Marina a good run for her money in fitness. But definitely too shredded for bikini. And too jacked. Like, she's got shoulders on her for days. She looks incredible. But again, it wasn't bikini. She probably needed to go to fitness.
Yeah, somewhere in between there. Then there was the men's confusing category of the day, the men's fitness.
I was backstage for
To
this.
be fair, gentlemen, I'm sorry, we were not paying a lot of attention. We had checked out by the stage because we were losing the will to live because our arms and shoulders were by this stage getting completely and utterly exhausted doing the live stream. And actually, to be fair, both Rachel and I had taken off by the stage and headed backstage to work with the girls back there. But men's fitness the under 23s, Hippiata Winetti took that one out. First timers, big class, 7 guys. Zane Coleman, not a lot of feedback to give guys because we haven't found a lot of pictures that we can blame the producer for that.
Well, again, we were backstage. I was celebrating a little bit with Adriana, taking some photos. So yeah, we were backstage for a lot of this.
Yeah, so we'll take the blame for that. There wasn't anybody in open. Men's novice was taken by Zane Coleman, and 40 plus Daniel Engelbrecht took that out with Hippiata Winetti taking out the overall title in men's fitness.
Oh, we had Adriana's brother. I think it was Adriana's brother, Gabriel. Yeah, Gabriel Wislang, because he was watching. Okay. She was watching him a lot. She was backstage there watching him. So I think that's her brother.
Oh, good support. Good support. Then what do we have? Then we moved on to the fun class of the day, I think. The Ms. Sports Model. Quite a big lineup in this class.
I mean, it usually is because it's a fun class. Like, it's fun to enter, it's comfortable, and it's a good time.
Yeah. So, first timers, there were 4 taken out by Shelley Myberg. Again, really strong, really quite a good representation of the class. Tyler Robertson was second in the Ms. Sports Model Novice. There was a big class. It says 5, but that's not true. There was actually 7. That was a really interesting class. That was one where both Rachel and I were looking at each other going, that was interesting. We had one of our teammates, Shelley Blackler, was in that. Some interesting posing choices, as Rachel just about strangled her. But she was there to have fun with it. And a really good, just speaking to Shelley, got a really good structure for this class.
Yeah, I thought she had a really good look.
Just didn't have abs. And that was the top 3 ladies had defined abs. But it was a fun class. So all the ladies across from 1st through 5th were really, really strong.
And then my favorite competitor, Shihan, was in this too. Honorable mention because she is incredible. But yes, Rachel Shearer took this one out, she took out the overall as well and the Pro Qualified. So amazing.
And that's 100% understandable. I really like Jackie as well on 104. I think she was really, really strong. Probably I thought her side pose was a bit stronger than
Rachel, who
took it out.
How are you forgetting that name?
I know. Well, there's only one Rachel in my heart. You know that.
Okay. Bribery.
I know. It works. It generally works.
Flattery.
Then we had 30 plus. Third, and that was Yubi Mun, which I thought she would have done quite well in this class, but I think, again, didn't have the defined 6-pack, which
they definitely wanted conditioning. They definitely were going.
Well, they definitely want the 6-pack because it actually even says in the criteria that is a requirement.
Which makes body fat distribution really important in this category, is what I've learned. Because you kind of want like a really full, bubbly look, but you also need that 6-pack at the same time, which is really hard to have both. Like, I would never be able to have both with the way my body is. I would either be depleted and have a 6-pack, or I can have the bubbly, full look. So it is very hard to have both. So yeah, it is a bit of a balancing act to get that look, but they were definitely gunning for the conditioning on this lineup.
And even above conditioning, it was like if there was conditioning, they were definitely the next thing they were going for was that 6-pack, and it was like you're like, okay, sports model 40 plus, 6 ladies in that, taken out by Shelley Myberg there, with Emmeline McClare in second. Again, really strong. That was a really strong class. Rochelle was in the 50 plus class, and then open there was Rochelle Shearer took that one out. Rachel Shearer, sorry. And then second was Yubi Mun, followed by Shelley Blackley took out third in that class. And overall for sports model was Rachel Shearer, who also got a PQ. So yeah, it's a really fun class, that sports model, and obviously it's much like Runway. It's obviously clearly growing year over year.
This one's always big, Chris. You just haven't paid attention because you're tired by that point.
That's true. I'm like, you're not in it, I'm done.
Sports model is generally a pretty big class because it's just, it's fun to do. Like, you get to wear sneakers instead of heels, and you get to wear your sports bra and shorts, and it's awesome. It's fun. And also, it's nice to have like a slightly different look. It's very athletic look. Like, you almost want to, it's kind of like if you were to go to an athletics track and look at the 100-meter sprinter girls, that's sports model. Which is why Jane did so well. Because
this is true. Yeah, that explains that one. Yeah. So all in all, it was a really, really good show. Timing-wise, only ran about an hour late, which, as we all
Pretty
know, in
standard.
bodybuilding shows, that's actually pretty good. And considering the amount of crossovers, etc., and with 100 athletes, that was a really, really good showing. And that level of quality, level of sportsmanship was really good. Obviously, all the competitors who won Fitness Model, Wellness, Bikini Model, and Swimsuit all won sponsorship from Accentuate Posing Academy to get their nationals fees paid. So hopefully they take us up on that offer. We're really glad with Adriana because she saved us some money. We don't have to pay 3 times for her. It's like, yes, thank you. But yeah, no, it was a really, really good show. So hats off to all of the volunteers and organisers that were pulled that all together. Obviously to Brenda and Andy, the DJ extraordinaire out there, busting out his jams, which still crack me up every now and again. But it was a really, really good show for the first up for the ICN for the year. And they really put a flag in the ground saying, all right, now everybody else has to step up. It's the 3rd show we've done in New Zealand this year. And the one show pretty much smoked the other 3.
Right. We'll just leave it at that one. But yeah, no, I think the biggest takeaway from this one is just, again, I might be biased, but the importance of posing, just for this show specifically, because again, phenomenal physiques. Oh, and also the importance of being in the right category, because the amount of people who were just not quite put in the right division or not quite bought into the right conditioning for the division that they were suited to. I think that, obviously that's not necessarily on the athletes. I think the coaches need to just have a really good look at what athletes are entering in and what they're aiming for. Because we've seen it time and time again.
Coaches need to understand the classes so they know they're putting their athletes in the right place. And
make sure you get your feedback, people. Get your feedback.
Yep. Get your feedback, get your photos. And so all in all, great first up show. And the next one for ICN is the
North.
In Palmerston North. Oh, actually, no, they've got the World Games in Bali in 3 weeks, but the next one in New Zealand is in Palmerston North. So looking forward to seeing, as we've discussed, seems to be all roads lead to Palmerston North in New Zealand bodybuilding these days because just about every federation is doing a show down there. So that will be the next one in New Zealand for ICN. But yeah, it was a really, really good showing, really strong show. Congratulations to all the athletes that made it to stage. And for those of you that are coming on further on, we really look forward to seeing what you bring. Anything in closing there, Rachel?
No, I think that's just about it. But yeah, we are coming into peak season now. Like, the season is really getting underway at this point. Like, one thing actually, get your bloody suit orders in, please, because we are getting close now. We are, I've actually got on my calendar written for next week, busy season starts, because that is peak season beginning, because we've got so many shows all in a row. So make sure you start getting everything organized. You've got all your posing sorted, you've got your suit sorted, start getting your flights and accommodation sorted. We need to do that too. But yeah, start getting everything organized, because if you leave it to the last minute, you're going to be tired and cranky and hungry. So get it sorted now, and then you can relax.
Yep. It's much easier to be prepared in advance. As they say, failure to prepare means prepare to fail. So,
exactly.
And don't, as I like to say to Rachel frequently, when people call her in the last minute panic to make a swimsuit, I was like, that sounds like an emergency on their part, not an emergency on mine. So do yourself a favor, reach out to the people you need to, get it done. But enjoy the rest of the season. We look forward to seeing you guys around the country in various points. We've got workshops coming up around the country. We've got shows that will be out across multiple federations around the country. And if you do see us out and about, say hi. We're not that scary. Well, Rachel's not. I apparently am, but I can live with it. But in closing, again, thank you very much for joining us today. If you have enjoyed today's coverage of the ICN Great Lakes Classic, please make sure you like and subscribe on both Spotify and YouTube. It actually, apparently, according to the technical people, it does actually make it easier for other athletes to find us, so they can hear the wonderful amount of completely unorganized diatribes that Rachel and I come up with. So we will see you all next Monday for cardio at bright and early, 5:30 in the morning. Have a great week, everybody, and we'll see you soon.
Enjoy.